My 7-year-old broke a kid's jaw and the surgeon asked for her autograph. The principal called me at work saying my daughter Maya had been in a fight and I needed to come immediately. I left my job site without finishing my lunch, drove 15 minutes with my stomach in knots, imagining scratches or maybe a black eye. When I got to the office, Principal Andrews looked uncomfortable but not angry like I expected. He explained that Maya had punched another student during recess, and the boy was on his way to the hospital with what appeared to be a broken jaw. A broken jaw. My 7-year-old daughter had broken another child's jaw with her fist. I waited for him to tell me Maya was expelled, that police were being called, that the other family was pressing charges, but instead, he said Maya claimed the boy had been choking another student and wouldn't stop when she yelled at him. The gym teacher confirmed this. The boy, Tyler, was 11 years old and had been suspended twice already for hurting smaller kids. Principal Andrews said Maya wouldn't face disciplinary action since she was protecting someone, but I should probably take her home for the day. That was it. No suspension, no formal incident report, just go home. I asked if Tyler's parents were being notified, and the principal got this weird look on his face. He said they'd already been called and were meeting their son at the hospital. When Maya came out of the nurse's office, her knuckles were wrapped in bandages, but she seemed fine otherwise. Calm. Almost too calm for a kid who'd just sent someone to the emergency room. She held my hand as we walked to the car and asked if we could stop for ice cream on the way home. At dinner that night, my wife Rachel asked Maya to explain exactly what happened. Maya said Tyler had this smaller kid named Owen in a headlock behind the equipment shed, and Owen's face was turning purple. She told Tyler to stop 3 times, but he laughed at her, so she hit him once in the face, and he let go. Rachel and I exchanged looks across the table. Our daughter had described this like she was recounting a normal playground game, not a violent incident that sent another child to the hospital. I asked where she learned to punch like that, and Maya shrugged. She said she just aimed for his jaw like she was supposed to. The phrasing bothered me, but when I pushed for clarification, Maya said she was tired and asked to be excused. Over the next week, strange things kept happening. Other parents at school drop-off would stop me to ask about Maya. Not angry questions about the fight, but weird questions about her training schedule and whether she planned to compete soon. Tyler's parents never called us, never threatened legal action, nothing. Their son had a broken jaw, and they were completely silent. At Maya's checkup the following Monday, the pediatrician examined her hands and made a comment about proper form and conditioning. I asked what he meant, and he just smiled and said Maya obviously knew what she was doing. The incident should have been a huge deal, but everyone was treating it like Maya had won a spelling bee instead of seriously injuring another child. Rachel started acting weird too, getting defensive when I asked questions about Maya's activities after school. She said I was overreacting, that Maya was fine, and I should drop it, but I couldn't drop it because none of this made sense. Then Tyler's family requested that he be moved to a different school, and the principal approved it immediately. No investigation, no questions about why the victim was leaving instead of the kid who broke his jaw. 2 weeks after the incident, Maya complained about wrist pain, so I took her to an orthopedic surgeon my insurance recommended. The moment we walked into the examination room, the surgeon's face lit up. He asked if Maya was the Morrison girl from the tournament last month, and Maya nodded, like this was completely normal. He examined her wrist, talking to her about her technique and asking about her training regimen. Then he did something that made my blood run cold. He pulled out his phone and asked if Maya would mind taking a photo with him for his son, who apparently followed her career closely. Then he asked for her autograph. I stood there watching this accomplished surgeon get starstruck over my 7-year-old daughter who'd just broken another kid's jaw, and that's when I realized I had no idea who my daughter actually was. The rest of the story is on my channel, or linked below. I stand frozen in the examination room, my mind struggling to process what I've just witnessed. My 7-year-old daughter, the quiet, sweet girl who collects stuffed animals and still asks for the crusts cut off her sandwiches, just got asked for an autograph by a medical professional. I'm sorry. I finally manage, stepping between the surgeon and Maya. What tournament are you talking about exactly? The surgeon looks confused, glancing between Maya and me. The Junior Combat Championship last month? Maya was the youngest finalist in the lightweight division. He says this like it's common knowledge, like I should be beaming with pride instead of feeling like I've stepped into some alternate reality. Maya looks down at her shoes, suddenly very interested in her shoelaces. There must be some mistake, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. Maya doesn't compete in any tournaments. The surgeon's expression shifts from confusion to embarrassment. I'm so sorry. I just assumed. He clears his throat. Suddenly, all business. The wrist appears to be just a minor sprain. Ice, rest, and some children's ibuprofen should take care of it. If the pain persists for more than a week, bring her back. He hands me the paperwork and practically rushes us out of the office, like he's desperate to end this awkward encounter. In the car, Maya climbs into the back seat without a word. I adjust the rearview mirror to see her face. She's staring out the window, her expression unreadable. Maya, I say as gently as I can. What was that doctor talking about? What tournament? She doesn't answer right away. When I look back again, tears are streaming down her face. I'm sorry, Daddy, she whispers. I didn't mean to hurt Tyler that bad. I just wanted him to stop hurting Owen. I know, sweetheart. That's not what I'm asking about. I pull the car over to the side of the road and turn around to face her. What tournament was the doctor talking about? Do you know what he meant? She wipes her eyes with her sleeve. Mommy said I'm not supposed to talk about it. My stomach drops. Talk about what, exactly? The fighting. Her voice is so small I can barely hear it. Mommy says it's our special secret. I try to keep my expression neutral even as alarm bells are going off in my head. You can tell me anything, Maya. You know that, right? She nods, but doesn't look convinced. I'm scared, Daddy. I don't want to get in trouble. You're not in trouble. I promise, though I have no idea what's happening. Let's go home and talk about this with Mommy, okay? She nods again, looking slightly relieved. The rest of the drive home is silent, my mind racing with possibilities, each one more disturbing than the last. Rachel isn't home when we arrive. She's at her weekly book club meeting, which suddenly seems convenient. I get Maya settled with a snack and her favorite cartoon, then retreat to my home office, closing the door behind me. I spend the next hour searching every combination of Maya Morrison tournament fighting I can think of. Nothing. I tried Junior Combat Championship Championship, which yields only vague references to mixed martial arts events in neighboring states, but no children's divisions, and certainly nothing with Maya's name attached. I'm deep in a rabbit hole of martial arts forums when I hear the garage door open. Rachel's home. I close my laptop and head downstairs to meet her. How was Maya's appointment? She asks, setting down her purse. She's smiling, but there's a tightness around her eyes. Interesting, I say carefully. The surgeon recognized her, asked for her autograph. Rachel's smile falters for just a fraction of a second. That's strange. Maybe he confused her with someone else. He specifically mentioned the Morrison girl from a tournament last month. The same phrase Principal Andrews used. I watch her face carefully. What's going on, Rachel? Nothing's going on. She busies herself unloading groceries. I didn't know she was getting. The doctor obviously made a mistake, and Andrews probably just heard about the incident from someone else who exaggerated. Maya mentioned something about fighting, said it was a special secret between you two. Rachel freezes, then forces a laugh. Oh, that. We've been watching those women's MMA fights together sometimes when you're working late. I told her it was our little secret because I know you'd disapprove of the violence. She waves a dismissive hand. Kids and their imaginations, right? She's probably just playing pretend. It's a plausible explanation, but something doesn't feel right. So there's no tournament? No fighting? Of course not, Rachel scoffs. She's 7 years old, for God's sake. You're being paranoid. She checks her watch. I need to start dinner. Can we drop this? I nod, but I have no intention of dropping anything. After dinner, I wait until Rachel is helping Maya with her bath before slipping into our daughter's bedroom. I've been in here thousands of times to tuck her in, to find missing toys, to vacuum the carpet. But tonight, I'm looking with new eyes. I start with her closet, pushing aside the hanging clothes to check the back wall. Nothing unusual. I move to her dresser, carefully checking each drawer. Still nothing. I'm about to give up when I notice her toy chest looks slightly different. It's pushed a few inches farther from the wall than usual. I slide it out and find what looks like a loose baseboard behind it. When I press on it, it gives way, revealing a small hidden compartment. Inside is a cloth bag. I pull it out with trembling hands and open it. The contents spill onto the carpet, 3 gleaming martial arts trophies and at least a dozen medals, all engraved with Maya's name. The most recent one is dated just 3 weeks ago, Junior Combat Championship, with Maya Morrison, listed as the lightweight division winner. I hear the bathroom door open down the hall. Quickly, I stuff everything back into the bag and return it to the hidden compartment, sliding the toy chest back into place just as Maya and Rachel enter the room. Rachel's eyes meet mine, and I can see she knows exactly what I've found. Her face goes pale. Maya, sweetie, she says, her voice overly bright. Why don't you pick out a book for Daddy to read you tonight? Maya looks between us, sensing the tension. Okay, Mommy. As she turns to her bookshelf, Rachel mouths silently to me. Not now. I nod, but my mind is made up. Whatever is going on with my daughter, whatever secret life she's been living, I'm going to get to the bottom of it tonight. I wait until Maya is asleep before confronting Rachel. She's in our bedroom, removing her makeup with practiced strokes, like it's just another normal evening, like our entire life isn't a lie. Want to tell me about the trophies? I ask, leaning against the door frame. Her hand freezes mid-wipe. She doesn't turn around, just stares at her reflection in the vanity mirror. You went through her things. After my 7-year-old daughter broke an 11-year-old boy's jaw with one punch and got asked for an autograph by a surgeon, yeah, I went through her things. I step into the room, closing the door behind me. What the hell is going on, Rachel? She sets down her makeup wipe and turns to face me. Her expression is defensive, but there's something else there, Pride. Maya is special, she says, like she's explaining something obvious. She has a gift. A gift? For what? Violence? I can feel my voice rising and force myself to lower it, conscious of Maya sleeping down the hall. For fighting. For winning. Rachel stands up, suddenly animated. You should see her, James. She moves like water. Her technique is flawless. Trainers twice her age can't believe what she can do. I stare at my wife, this woman I've been married to for 9 years, wondering if I've ever really known her at all. Where? I demand. Where is she fighting? Because I've been online for hours and can't find a single legitimate tournament with her name. Rachel hesitates, then sighs. That's because they're not exactly sanctioned events. The floor seems to tilt beneath me. What does that mean? It means she trains at Blackwater Gym. It's invitation only. Very exclusive. They specialize in combat training for exceptional children. Combat training? She's 7 years old. I hiss, struggling to keep my voice down. She started when she was 4, Rachel says, and the casual way she drops this bombshell makes me grip the dresser for support. 4? My mind flashes to all those Saturday swim lessons and dance classes that Rachel would take Maya to while I worked. You've been training our daughter to fight since she was 4 years old? Without telling me? I knew you wouldn't understand. Rachel crosses her arms. You've always been so conventional, so worried about what other people think. I'm worried about our daughter's safety, about her childhood. She loves it, Rachel insists. She's good at it. Do you have any idea how rare that is? To find something you're truly exceptional at? So this tournament the doctor mentioned, the Junior Combat Championship, it's underground, invitation only. The best young fighters from across the country. Maya was the youngest finalist ever. I sink onto the edge of the bed, trying to process this. And Tyler, the boy whose jaw she broke today? Rachel's expression hardens. That little shit had it coming. He was bullying that smaller kid. That's not the point. I snap, then lower my voice again. The doctor recognized her. The principal mentioned the Morrison girl from the tournament. How many people know about this? Rachel sighs. A lot of important people are involved in the league. Doctors, lawyers, business owners. Principal Andrews' husband is one of the sponsors. My stomach turns. Sponsors? People are sponsoring children fighting? It's not what you think, Rachel says quickly. These aren't street fights. There are rules, referees. It's controlled. It's illegal, I counter. It has to be. Rachel doesn't deny this. Instead, she says, Tyler's parents were paid yesterday. $100,000 for medical expenses, and their silence. The number hits me like a physical blow. $100,000 who paid them. The league has a fund for these situations. It happens occasionally, when the kids use their training outside the ring. I try to imagine where this kind of money comes from, and my mind goes to dark places. How many fights has she had? Rachel's expression softens with pride again. 17. She's undefeated. 17 fights. I repeat the words, trying to make them make sense. Our 7-year-old daughter has fought 17 underground matches against other children, and won every single one, Rachel adds, like I should be celebrating this fact. I stand up, needing to move, to do something with the energy coursing through me. I need to see it. See what? This gym. These fights. Whatever the hell you've gotten our daughter involved in. Rachel studies me for a long moment. There's a tournament this weekend. Maya's in the championship match. Of course she is, I mutter, the absurdity of it all washing over me. I can take you, Rachel says carefully, but you have to promise not to make a scene. These people, they take privacy very seriously. These people who bet on children fighting, you mean? Rachel doesn't deny it. Some of the wagers are in the millions. Millions. People betting millions on children beating each other up. On my daughter beating other children up. Who are these people, Rachel? Who gets involved in something like this? People with money, power, the kind of connections that can make problems disappear. She meets my eyes. The kind of connections that can open doors for Maya's future. What future? Professional child fighter? You don't understand the opportunities this creates, Rachel insists. The discipline she's learning, the mental focus, the connections to powerful people. She's 7, I shout, forgetting to keep my voice down. She should be playing with dolls and learning to ride a bike, not breaking jaws and competing in underground fight clubs. We both freeze, listening for any sound from Maya's room. After a moment of silence, Rachel speaks again, her voice low and intense. I grew up with nothing. No advantages, no connections. Everything I have, I had to claw my way to get. Her eyes burn with a fervor I've never seen before. Maya will never have to struggle like that. She has a gift, and I'm making sure she uses it. I look at my wife, this stranger, and realize there's no reasoning with her tonight. I want to see this tournament, I say finally. Then we're going to have a serious conversation about Maya's future. Rachel nods, relief visible on her face. She thinks she's won, that once I see Maya in action, I'll understand. What she doesn't realize is that I'm already planning how to get my daughter out of whatever twisted world she's dragged her into. Saturday at 8 p.m., she says. I'll tell you where to meet us. I nod, already dreading what I'll witness, but knowing I need to see it to understand just how deep this goes. One thing is clear, nothing about our family will ever be the same again. Saturday arrives faster than I'd like. I spend the days leading up to it in a fog, going through the motions at work, while my mind churns with images of children fighting in some dingy warehouse. Every time I look at Maya coloring at the kitchen table, watching cartoons, doing all the normal things 7-year-olds do, I try to reconcile this innocent child with the underground fighter Rachel described. Ready? Rachel asks, appearing in our bedroom doorway as I button my shirt. She's dressed casually but expensively, designer jeans, a sleek black top, hair and makeup perfect. This is clearly an event she dresses for. As I'll ever be, I reply, my stomach nodding. Maya is already waiting by the door, a small duffel bag at her feet. She's wearing sweatpants and a zip-up hoodie, her hair pulled back in a tight braid. The outfit is so ordinary, so innocent, but her eyes hold something I've never noticed before, a focused intensity that belongs on someone much older. We'll take separate cars, Rachel says, in case you want to leave early. The implication is clear. She and Maya won't be leaving early no matter what. Rachel hands me an address written on a slip of paper. Park 2 blocks away and walk. Don't take pictures. Don't use your real name. I nod, the surreal nature of these instructions making me feel like I'm in a bad movie. The address leads me to an industrial area outside the city. Abandoned warehouses line potholed streets, most with broken windows and graffiti-covered walls. But one building stands out, freshly painted, with new security cameras and a sleek black SUV parked outside. I follow Rachel's instructions, parking my car several blocks away. As I approach on foot, I notice other expensive vehicles appearing, dropping off well-dressed couples before driving away. These people don't look like criminals or degenerates. They look like the parents at Maya's school, fundraisers, doctors, lawyers, business executives. A man in a tailored suit stands by a nondescript side door, checking phones as people approach. When I reach him, he looks me up and down. Name? He asks. I'm with the Morrisons, I say, the words feeling foreign in my mouth. He checks his tablet. Rachel's husband? First time? I nod, and he smiles, not unkindly. You're in for a treat. Your girl's the talk of the circuit. 8-1 favorite tonight. He hands me what looks like a credit card. Your pass. Don't lose it. Inside, the warehouse has been transformed. The space is divided into 3 sections, each containing a fighting ring surrounded by tiered seating. The lighting is sophisticated, the sound system playing low, pulsing music. A bar runs along one wall, serving drinks in crystal glasses. It looks like a high-end sports club, except the fighters are children. In the nearest ring, 2 boys who can't be older than 10 are circling each other, their faces locked in expressions of determination. One lunges, catching the other with a kick to the ribs that makes me wince. The crowd cheers. First time? I turn to find a middle-aged man in an expensive suit standing beside me, drink in hand. Is it that obvious? I manage. He laughs. You have that deer in headlights look. Don't worry, they know what they're doing. He gestures toward the ring. My son's the one in blue. Second season fighting. Best thing I ever did for him, taught him discipline, focus. His grades are up, his confidence is through the roof. I watch as his son takes a punch to the face that snaps his head back. Isn't it dangerous? Life is dangerous, the man says with a shrug. Better they learn to handle themselves now, in a controlled environment, than on the streets later. I move away from him, feeling sick. The place is filling up rapidly. The crowd a mix of parents and what appear to be serious gamblers, judging by the tablets and phones displaying odds and numbers. I spot Rachel across the room, talking animatedly with a group of well-dressed women. She looks completely at home, laughing and gesturing like she's at a cocktail party instead of an illegal fighting event. A man in a suit approaches me, extending his hand. James Morrison? I'm Michael Reeves, one of the organizers. Rachel said I should introduce myself. I shake his hand automatically. This is quite an operation. He beams with pride. Best youth combat program in the country. We've got kids who started here now, competing internationally, Olympics, professional MMA, you name it. And the betting? I ask, nodding toward a group of men exchanging cash. That's how we fund it all, he explains, lowering his voice. Our clients wager millions on these fights. The house takes a percentage, which covers training, facilities, medical care, security. He pauses. And compensation when necessary. Like for Tyler's family, he doesn't even blink. Precisely. Accidents happen, but we take care of our own. And the children? I ask, unable to keep the edge from my voice. Do you take care of them too? Better than you might think, he says smoothly. College funds, training opportunities, connections to people who can open doors. Your daughter has already earned enough for a full ride to any university in the country. Before I can respond, a bell rings, and the crowd begins moving toward the central ring. That's the main event starting, Reeves says. Maya's up. You won't want to miss this. I follow the crowd, searching for my daughter. I spot her in a corner of the ring, Rachel kneeling beside her, whispering something in her ear. Maya nods, her face a mask of concentration. Her opponent enters from the opposite side, a girl, maybe a year older, taller, and heavier. The announcer's voice booms through the space. Ladies and gentlemen, our championship bout, defending champion Maya the Ghost Morrison versus challenger Kira the Hammer Jackson. The crowd roars. Money changes hands rapidly as final bets are placed. I push my way to the front, needing to see Maya's face. When she turns toward the crowd, I barely recognize her. Gone is my little girl who sleeps with a stuffed bunny. In her place stands a fighter, eyes cold and calculating as she sizes up her opponent. The bell rings. The girls circle each other, and I hold my breath, praying this isn't as bad as I fear. It's worse. Maya moves with a speed and precision that's terrifying, ducking under a punch and delivering a combination to her opponent's ribs that makes the crowd gasp. The other girl, Kira, recovers quickly, catching Maya with a kick that sends her stumbling backward. Come on, Maya, remember your counter, Rachel shouts from ringside, her face flushed with excitement. The violence escalates, each girl attacking with practiced brutality. When Kira lands a punch that splits Maya's lip, I start pushing toward the ring, only to feel a hand on my arm. Don't, Reeves says firmly. You'll only distract her. I watch in horror as blood drips down my daughter's chin, but Maya doesn't cry, doesn't hesitate. She wipes the blood away with her glove and launches a counterattack that drives Kira to the mat. The crowd is on its feet now, shouting and cheering as Maya positions herself for what looks like a finishing move. That's when the lights suddenly cut out, plunging the warehouse into darkness. Police, nobody move. Blinding flashlights sweep through the darkness as officers in tactical gear pour through every entrance. Panic erupts instantly. People scatter in all directions, knocking over chairs and tables in their rush to escape. Maya, I shout, pushing against the tide of fleeing bodies. Maya! I catch a glimpse of Rachel yanking Maya from the ring, wrapping her in a jacket to hide her fighting gear. They're moving toward a back exit, Rachel's face set in determination. I'm almost to them when someone slams into me from behind, sending me crashing to the floor. By the time I get to my feet, they've disappeared into the chaos. Outside, police cars line the street, lights flashing. Officers are handcuffing people, loading them into vans. I search frantically for Maya and Rachel, pushing past fleeing spectators and shouting their names. A hand grabs my shoulder, spinning me around. I find myself face to face with a police officer, his badge held up to my face. Sir, are you involved in this event? I hesitate, then make a decision that will change everything. My daughter is. She's 7 years old, and she was fighting in there. I need to find her. I stand outside the police station, staring at the brick facade while rain pelts my shoulders. It's been 3 days since the raid, 3 days since I watched my 7-year-old daughter get whisked away in the chaos of flashing lights and shouting officers. 3 days of lawyers, social workers, and questions that no parent should ever have to answer. Mr. Morrison, a woman in a charcoal pantsuit approaches, extending her hand. I'm Diane Mercer, from Child Protective Services. We spoke on the phone. I shake her hand mechanically. Any news? They're bringing Maya out now. The judge granted you temporary custody while the investigation continues. Her eyes soften slightly. She's been through a lot. The psychologist says she's exhibiting signs of complex trauma. Complex trauma. The words echo in my head as we walk inside. What kind of father doesn't notice his child being turned into a fighter? What kind of father misses something so fundamental about his daughter's life? Maya appears in the doorway of the waiting area, looking impossibly small in clothes that aren't hers, a faded blue t-shirt and sweatpants that hang off her frame. When she sees me, she doesn't run into my arms like I'd hoped. Instead, she approaches cautiously, her eyes darting around the room like she's assessing threats. Hey, sweetheart, I say, kneeling to her level. Hi, Daddy. Her voice is flat, controlled. Is Mommy coming home too? The question stabs through me. No, honey. Mom has to stay here a little longer. Maya nods, accepting this information with an eerie calmness no 7-year-old should possess. Because of the fighting? Yes, I answer honestly. Because of the fighting. The drive home is silent. In the rearview mirror, I watch Maya stare out the window, her face unreadable. The social worker's words replay in my mind. She's been conditioned to suppress emotional responses. It's common in children who've been trained for combat sports at an inappropriate age. At home, Maya walks straight to her room and sits on the edge of her bed, hands folded in her lap. Are you hungry? I ask from the doorway. I could make mac and cheese. She shakes her head. When's my next match? The question hits me like a physical blow. There won't be any more matches, Maya. Her eyes widen with genuine panic. But I'm supposed to defend my title next month. Mr. Reeves said there are scouts coming. Maya, those fights were wrong. They were illegal and dangerous. And I'm good at it, she shouts, her composure cracking. It's the only thing I'm good at. That's not true, I say, moving to sit beside her. You're good at so many things. Like what? She demands, tears welling in her eyes. And I realize with crushing clarity that I don't know. I've been so absent from her real life that I can't name a single thing my daughter enjoys besides the brutal sport her mother pushed her into. We'll figure it out together, I promise. That night, I find her doing push-ups in her room at 10 p.m. Maya, it's bedtime, I say gently. I have to do my conditioning, she replies, not stopping. Coach says if I miss a day, I'll fall behind. You don't have to do that anymore. She sits back on her heels, looking at me with confusion. But what about my training? I sit on the floor beside her. Maya, what happened to you? What your mom got you involved in? Kids your age should be playing, making friends, learning about the world, not fighting. But I like fighting, she insists, though her voice wavers. I'm the champion. Later, after she finally finally falls asleep, clutching the stuffed bunny she'd previously hidden away as babyish. I sit at the kitchen table with a detective and 2 FBI agents. The operation was bigger than we initially thought, Detective Harlow explains. International. Children being trafficked across borders for these tournaments. Trafficked? The word makes my stomach turn. Not in Maya's case, he clarifies, but many of the children were. Your wife claims she didn't know about that aspect. What happens to Rachel? I ask, though part of me doesn't want to know. She's facing multiple felony charges. Child endangerment, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, conspiracy. The DA is pushing for maximum sentences given the severity and duration of the abuse. Abuse, I repeat, the word bitter on my tongue. I didn't know. I should have known, but I didn't. The female FBI agent, who has been mostly silent, leans forward. Mr. Morrison, these organizations are sophisticated. They groom parents the same way predators groom children. They start small, normalize increasingly dangerous behavior, offer rewards and status. Your wife was a victim too, in a way, but I can't forgive Rachel. Not when I see the nightmares that wake Maya screaming. Not when the therapist shows me the drawings my daughter makes. Stick figures with red crayon blood, tiny bodies in fighting rings, surrounded by crowds of smiling adults. The months that follow are the hardest of my life. Maya attends therapy 3 times a week. I take a leave of absence from work to be with her full time. We move to a new house, a new school district, trying to outrun the whispers and stares that follow the fighting girl scandal. Principal Andrews is arrested along with his husband and 23 other sponsors of the fighting ring. The surgeon who asked for Maya's autograph loses his medical license. Tyler's parents return the hush money and cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for immunity. Through it all, Maya struggles. She gets into fights at her new school, unable to unlearn years of conditioning that taught her violence is the answer. She wakes up at 5 a.m. to train for matches that will never come. She asks about her mother constantly, torn between missing her and understanding, on some level, that what Rachel did was wrong. When can I hit the pads again? She asks one night, 6 months after the raid. Maya, we've talked about this. I sigh, exhausted from another call with her therapist about an outburst at school. Not fighting, she clarifies, just training. I miss it. Her voice breaks. I don't know who I am without it. It's this moment of raw honesty that finally shows me the way forward. The next day, I take her to a legitimate martial arts academy that specializes in children with behavioral issues. The sensei, a former social worker, reviews Maya's case file before meeting us. Fighting isn't the problem, he tells Maya, while I watch from the sidelines. It's why and how you fight that matters. 2 years pass. Rachel pleads guilty to reduced charges and receives 8 years in prison. The international investigation leads to hundreds of arrests across 12 countries. Maya visits her mother once a month, supervised visits that leave her quiet and withdrawn afterward. But there are good days too. Maya channels her skills into legitimate competition, regulated, age-appropriate martial arts tournaments where the focus is on discipline and sportsmanship, not violence for entertainment. She makes friends with other kids who understand the satisfaction of mastering a difficult technique, the pride in earning a new belt through hard work rather than brutality. Today, I'm watching her compete in a state championship for her age group. She's 9 now, still small for her age, but her movements have changed. There's joy in them now, not just clinical precision. When she bows to her opponent before the match, I see respect in her eyes, not the cold calculation of a child forced to be a gladiator. She doesn't always win anymore, and that's been its own kind of therapy. Learning that losing doesn't mean failure, that there's more to life than victory at any cost. After the tournament, she runs to me with her 3rd place medal, beaming with a genuine smile that once seemed lost forever. Did you see that takedown I did, Dad? I've been practicing it for weeks. I saw it, I tell her, hugging her close. I'm so proud of you, and I am, not because she won or lost, but because my daughter is finally getting to be a child, fighting demons of her own choosing, on her own terms.